Welcome to episode 17 of the Metamagix Monster Manual and another continuation of the Dead by Daylight chapter. In this episode, we are going to cover exactly how you should run the Demogorgon from Stranger Things in D&D 5e. The Demogorgon stat block is going to be one of the hardest stat blocks that I have designed in terms of difficulty for your players, so strap in and let's get right to it. As a reminder, a link to the stat block can be found in the description of this video. It'll take you to my Twitter or my Discord where you can find a downloadable picture for free. So this is the Demogorgon, and to begin, the Demogorgon is classified as a large humanoid with the chaotic evil tag, same as all of the other killers. He has an armor class of 16, a hit point total of 225 hit points, and a movement speed of 35 feet. There are some pretty impressive stats over on the stat array with an 18 strength, 16 dexterity, 18 constitution, and then the rest of intelligence, wisdom, and charisma are pretty nominal, around 10 through 14. For the damage immunities, he is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks, but could be turned down to a resistance if your party is low on magic. He is immune to being blinded. He has blind sight of 60 feet, tremor sense of 30 feet, and a passive perception of 12, speaks 0 languages, and is a challenge rating of 9. So now we're going to jump into some gameplay and talk about his unique abilities and actions. So to begin, the Demogorgon's unique ability is Of the Abyss. As a bonus action, the Demogorgon can place a portal on the ground at its location. Up to 6 portals can exist at a time. The Demogorgon can use the bonus action to travel from one portal to another. All creatures located within a 10-foot radius of any of the Demogorgon's portals have their locations revealed, so they'll automatically be detected. Moving on, the first unique perk on the Demogorgon is Surge. When the Demogorgon reduces a creature to 0 hit points, all creatures within a 20-foot radius of the Demogorgon must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or take 2d8 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. So this killer's main feature is going to be psychic damage. Next up, we have Mindbreaker. Any creature who successfully attacks the Demogorgon must succeed a DC 6 Wisdom saving throw or suffer 1 level of exhaustion. So there is a very high amount of risk when landing attacks on the Demogorgon. It is a very easy DC to make, but with a very high hit point total, you're going to be having to go through a lot of attacks, and there is going to be at least some level of exhaustion that will probably be had through some unlucky rolls. Finally, we have Cruel Limits. As a bonus action, the Demogorgon can block all 5-foot doorways and windows within a 30-foot radius. The barricades manifest as otherworldly spikes. We saw this previously on the clown through the Bamboozle trait. These spikes make the terrain impassable, are immune to all damage other than force damage, and can be destroyed from any source of force damage. The barricades last until the end of the Demogorgon's turn, so your goal with this is to ideally trap a priority target in a room with Cruel Limits, preventing anybody from getting in for at least 2 rounds. So for the Demogorgon's 2 actions, we have Shred, a melee weapon attack plus 8 to hit with a 15-foot lunge, i.e. he can jump forward to strike. One target deals 1d12 plus 4 slashing damage. And the other action he has is the Barbarous Claw, a normal melee weapon attack plus 8 to hit, 5-foot range, and deals 1d12 plus 4 slashing damage. So your goal with this killer is to play it as an absolute juggernaut. You jump into the fray immediately with this killer, attack some priority targets, ideally down some of them to activate Surge, so making the entire rest of the party have to take some psychic damage if they fail their save. And because you have a high hit point total, you can bet your HP in a fight. Because of your Mindbreaker ability, you can cause some creatures to ideally take some levels of exhaustion. This is meant to be one of the hardest fights in the Dead by Daylight chapter. You could turn up some of the damage or maybe give them a multi-attack with Barbarous Claw if you feel so inclined. But regardless, guys, that is how I think you should run the Demogorgon from Stranger Things in D&D 5e. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed the stat block, leave the video a like and subscribe if you guys haven't. We got 6 more of these coming out in the Dead by Daylight chapter before we move on to our next game. So subscribe for all those videos if you guys would like to do so. And until next time, have fun, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming.